Redstone component, and here's how you can use each one. The first is redstone dust. This is probably the most important in redstone as it's how you carry a signal from one point to another. This can extend up to 15 blocks in length, which means that after that it's not going to provide any more power. The next item is a redstone torch. It powers other redstone components on the same level or up one, but it can't go down, and if it receives power from beneath it, it's going to become inverted and not provide any power. The block of redstone can also power other blocks. It can go horizontally, on top, or below, and it can be moved by pistons, which means it's a movable power source. A comparator can be used to test how full a container is, but it can also be put into subtract mode, and it'll compare how much power is coming into the back to how much power is coming into the side. So in this case, 15 in the back and 8 in the side results in an extending power of 7. If I shoot a target block, it'll emit a pulse. You can put a piece of string between two tripwire hooks, and then whenever something hits it, you'll get power. The copper bulb comes in 4 waxable variants, and it will change its state whenever it receives power. A lever provides power. So does a button, but only for a short amount of time. A pressure plate emits power as long as something is stepping on it. Weighted pressure plates also accept items. Skulk sensors get mad when you make sound. Calibrated skulk sensors have a lot of goofy rules for how they behave, but in this case I can place a block and set off that power, but if I break it, nothing's going to happen. Lecterns count as a container, which means that we can use a comparator to determine whether or not it has a book. You can also use a comparator to determine how far along in the book that you are. Daylight sensors can be set to day mode or night mode, and they'll emit power depending on the time of day. Pistons push objects, but don't pull them back. Sticky pistons push objects and also pull them back. Slime blocks are sticky. Honey blocks are a different kind of sticky. Dispensers dispense things. Droppers drop things. This is a crafty little block that spits out blocks when you give it power. Hoppers act like pipes and move items around. And a chest is a container that can be read with a comparator. A trapped chest does that too, but it also emits a signal when it's open. A chiseled bookshelf emits a stronger signal when it has more books in it. A furnace is also considered a container, as is a decorated pot. Jukeboxes can interact with hoppers. And their brother the note block will play a single note on command. They can also be tuned by clicking on them, and play different instruments based on what's beneath them. The watching face of an observer emits a signal whenever it receives a block update. A composter can both interact with a hopper and be considered a container, so it can emit a signal through a comparator. And a cauldron is another container. Powered rails can be turned on and off. And detector rails emit a signal when they detect something on top of them. Activator rails don't like mobs and carts. And they really don't like minecart with TNT. Minecart with hopper is a movable hopper.